if we feel very isolated at the moment for whatever reason, or if we feel very alone, if we may have not had any physical contact for a while, I want us to be able to use this next technique to help our nervous system, whether we've gone into a shutdown mode or we're hyper aroused and we're hypersensitized to everything. Hello and welcome back. Now, just before we get started, if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell. So for every episode that gets released, you get notified very quickly. I also want to share with you about my YouTube or TEDx talk, should I say, which can be found on YouTube. So if you haven't checked it out already, and I talk about pandiculation on it, if you go to YouTube and then if you click in the search bar and put TEDx Heidi Hadley, you will find my pandiculation talk there through TEDx. I'd love you to maybe put a thumbs up, share it with anyone else that you know that will resonate with, and put a comment in. I'd love to hear from you. It'd be wonderful to get your comments. And then finally, just to let you know that next week, it's very soon now, next week we have the Total Somatics Live Experience. So it's just once a year. I come on live and I just love connecting with you all from wherever you are in the world. I love seeing all your exotic locations in the chat whenever I hold these events. So if you can join me, it'd be wonderful. The details will be found, especially for your time zone as well. If you go to totalsomatics.com/live experience, you will find there all the details. And I'd love for us to come together on this. So this free event, I'm going to be discussing about pain, clinical somatic movement, mindset, mindfulness, total somatics, total somatic awareness, just everything really that we encompass. But it all comes from many of your questions and queries throughout the year, and also things that I create within these podcast episodes that, again, they are created from many of your questions and queries. And also, if you're not already aware, the Total Somatics membership has had a complete overhaul. So a lot of the members now are really enjoying seeing this whole new pathway that I've created. So that really, it's really cool because it's combined like a membership with a digital course. And I'm very much aware of the cost of living for people now. So I thought, what can I do that's going to really take care of people and will be at a reasonable price and have all my ongoing support, ongoing live Q&As, workshops, all sorts of things. And so it's really lovely to share this whole new format with the Total Somatics members. And I will share much more about that in the Total Somatics Live Experience as well, because it's been quite life-changing for many people. And as a result of that, I want to let you know about that next time when we get together for the podcast. Or it's not a podcast, it's going to be a big live event. So can't wait to catch you on that one. Anyway, let us get back in today's episode. Now, you'll know from the last two episodes, we've talked about very traumatic events that are happening globally. Doesn't matter where we live in the world. And I know this from connecting with so many people over the years internationally. We might speak a different language. We might have a different skin color. We might, whatever it is, wherever we live in the world, we still have the same incredible nervous system, breathing apparatus, everything really. And so what we want to do is come together and work out how we can take care of ourselves in very horrific situations wherever we live in the world. And so in today's episode, I want to add on another resource, which I've created one in the previous episode. So if you haven't checked that out, please do. And then in the episode before that, so there's two episodes before this, please check out, where I get us to really focus on that very basic step of embodiment. Because if we can sense and feel what's going on in our body, then we can create the practices and the rituals to create that self-soothing recalibration of our nervous system. So today's episode, I want to continue with techniques to self-soothe and to create a protective and a supportiveness for our nervous system during traumatic events, because we can feel incredibly vulnerable, very raw, very just anxious with all sorts of things happening in a very traumatic environment. So I want to teach you a simple yet powerful technique that creates this feeling of being held or being hugged by another person. Because if we feel very isolated at the moment for whatever reason, or if we feel very alone, if we may have not had any physical contact for a while, I want us to be able to use this next technique to help our nervous system, whether we've gone into a shutdown mode or we're hyper aroused and we're hypersensitized to everything. This technique is going to help create a nurturing and a caring feeling for ourselves. So I'm going to stand back from the camera a little bit. So if you're watching this on the Total Somatics YouTube channel, you'll be able to see what I'm doing visually. I'm also going to make it very clear. So if you're listening to this just in an audio platform, you will still get an idea. But as I've mentioned previously, if you want to see this visually, go to the Total Somatics YouTube channel to find this. So I'm going to step back. Now I'm standing, but I'd encourage you for this to be sat down. It's really important just to get yourself nice and comfortable. When you feel comfortable to do so, I'll be encouraging you to close your eyes. And what we will be doing is taking one hand and we're going to pop it into your armpit. Just nestle it in there. And then the other hand is going to come onto the other shoulder. So you can see we're kind of crossing and creating like a hugging action already. In this situation, if you're happy to close your eyes, I'm going to encourage you to close your eyes and to take a really long, deep breath. So breathe in deeply in through your nose. And then as you exhale, breathe out through your mouth even longer than the in-breath. And as you do, see if you can just make any noise out of the back of your throat. If it's a big sigh, if it's a groan, whatever it is, just all the way out. With that out breath, make that groan. When you get to the end, notice that there's a silent pause before you start to inhale again. And as you inhale, breathe in through your nose. If you want, with your hands, you can always rub as if self-soothing. Either just hold your shoulder or just slowly soothe. So we're going to be doing 3 deep breaths in and 3 deep breaths or big breaths out, making the out breath longer than the in breath, because that's where we really start to slow down, dial down your nervous system. And notice there's a silent pause before you inhale again. So after you've done 3 of those big deep breaths, holding and maybe just self-soothing by stroking your arm, switch hand position. So now put the other hand in your armpit and put the other hand on your shoulder. Again, if it's happy just to hold it there, maybe you want to squeeze, maybe you want to hold, maybe you want to squeeze down your arm. So where you've started with your hand on your shoulder, maybe it's a squeeze or it's a stroking or it's a soothe movement, whatever it is. And maybe the hand in your armpit, that can be tapping or again stroking and smoothing. Find what you feel is quite comforting and nurturing. It's almost like we're looking after the inner child, the little child in us that can feel quite afraid here. Again, in this situation, taking 3 deep breaths. So breathing in through your nose. And then as you take that out breath out through your mouth with some audible sound, allowing there to be a vibration in your vocal cords. Again, keeping your eyes closed if that's comfortable to do so. And at the end of that very long out breath, noticing that there's a silent pause before you inhale again. Again, doing that for 3 counts. And then again, when you're ready, switching hand positions, taking your one hand into your armpit, the other hand onto your shoulder, again, holding it there, or stroking, squeezing, whatever you feel is comfortable for you. And I'd encourage you to do that, alternate every 3 big breaths and just changing position. And do that for several minutes. And I say several minutes instead of being very prescriptive with a number, because I'd love you to start to feel how you are internally. When you feel that you're beginning to feel calm and more grounded, that might be a time when you just slowly take your hands maybe from your armpit and your shoulder, maybe place them on your heart. Again, finish with a few deep breaths there before slowly taking your hands away. And in your own time, like the previous exercise we did in the other podcast, slowly opening your eyes when you feel comfortable to do so. So we don't want to quickly open your eyes because that's a lot of stimulation for your nervous system. When you feel ready, slowly come out of that practice. And I'd encourage you to repeat that often, especially when you're feeling lonely or you're feeling sad, afraid, fearful, maybe uncertain or overwhelmed with the situation. Remember, we're going back to that inner child. We've all got that little inner child, that child that we need to just nurture. And in very stressful situations, we can see at times immature or childlike behavior that can come out in us, or we might see it in other people. And that's again that reactiveness. So we want to be self-soothing, self-nurturing, and going right back to that time where we were nurtured and we were taken care of. Because again, in a very vulnerable situation, we can feel very alone. So again, armpit, one hand in the armpit, the other on your shoulder, stroking, self-soothing, closing your eyes down just to reduce the stimulation for your nervous system around you. Again, 3 lovely deep breaths, then change hand positions, and ensuring that your out breath is longer than your in breath. And remember, 3 phases to your breathing: the inhale, the exhale, and the silent pause before you inhale again. So that silent pause gets longer as we start to really relax and wind down from a stressful situation. So please share this episode with anyone that you know this is going to resonate with. This is what I want these episodes to be, is resources. There's a lot going on in the world. You can maybe make a note of these episodes, come back to them when you need to. But if you really want to dive deeper into this and you want my support there, because that's what I do within the Total Somatics online membership, if you go to totalsomatics.com, click on the Join Now page, and what you'll find there is the opportunity to put your details in. And when I open the membership doors, which will only be for about 5 or 6 days, you will get invited in, and then we can really start from there, from those small steps, and build that progressiveness. So we create that embodiment practice, that awareness from within, and then all these skills and techniques that will add to basically your toolkit to help in all sorts of situations and scenarios. So we're going to be addressing movement, posture, pain, anxiety, mindset, belief systems, lifestyle factors, how we can take this practice into daily activities and make it a lifestyle. That's what's so important about this, is creating a total somatic lifestyle. So I look forward to seeing you next week for the Total Somatics Live Experience. Again, totalsomatics.com/live experience. If you can join me, it'd be wonderful. And, let me know where you're watching from in the world, because I find it so special. Sometimes I'm here in the studio and I'm looking down the lens and I'm thinking, I wonder where they're watching from in the world. So do let me know. And if you want to, even in the comments here below, let me know, give me a wave or a little comment from where you are in the world. I'd love to hear from you. So I will see you very, very soon live for the Total Somatics Live Experience. All my love and all my very best wishes. Take care. Bye. Thank you for joining me today. If you've enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and also forward this on to somebody you know will benefit. To learn more about pain relief, plus how to improve your health and well-being, go to totalsomatics.com. Until next time, take care.